The Shiv Puran, I want to ask you, why isn't there that much of a kind of popularity of Shiva? Because a part of Hinduism, which is Shaivism, considers Shiva as the ultimate. Vaishnavism counts Vishnu as the ultimate.
Right.
So why is there not enough talk about Shiva doing the same?
I think Shiva's purpose itself is different. It's like in an organization when you have different functions. HR is supposed to do something, finance is supposed to do something completely different, and marketing and sales do completely different, functions. So it's very similar for the Trinity, where Brahma is supposed to be responsible for the creation, right? Once creation is done, Brahma's job for that day is over. And then comes into play Vishnu's requirement,
Which is maintenance.
To make sure things are running smoothly. And it's not related to the basic stuff. It's about the maintaining the overall balance of good and evil in the world. And
why is there a need for evil?
Right. I think that's a very interesting question that a lot of people have. Why does evil exist, in the first place? So a lot of scholars have tried to analyze it. Like Swami Vivekananda mentioned that, evil is just the absence of God. So darkness is just the absence of light. So it's the same for evil. Wherever there's a preponderance of ungodly activities or ungodly thoughts, that is what you call evil. And in another way, you can understand evil is associated with ego, right? Whenever you see any example of evil in the world, whether it is from history, whether it is from scriptures, Puranas, epics, Ramayana, Mahabharata, evil, the people we consider evil or overarchingly evil, maybe it's not complete black and white, but shades of gray, where more of gray, more of black is there, in that character. You see a preponderance of ego in that person. That person is driven solely by personal ambition. It's not a concern for development of the society, of the family, of the country, of the nation, of the world. It's about person's own development, own ambition, own greed or lust or bloodlust, So that is evil.
Keeping this in mind, I want to also kind of highlight the yogic aspect of what evil means.
Sure.
This is something I'm still trying to wrap my head around. But basically, Hinduism does speak about its own form of Satanism.
Right.
Like when we say Satan or the devil, it's often a commentary about the evil that's present within everyone's minds.
Right.
And how your mind is a combination of God and the devil.
Right.
God, all the good traits, and the devil, which are all the bad traits, and they're constantly at war.
Yes.
Depending on your habits, your friends, your choices in life,
yes.
you kind of make one of the two more dominant over the other one. Also, keeping this in mind, I remember there used to be this show, B.R. Chopra's Mahabharata, where the start of the show, the theme song was Yada Yada Nidharmasya.
Who can forget that?
Yeah. So that entire shloka talks about the fact that when the evil within the average human's mind becomes more dominant over the God factor,
yes.
that's when God has to take birth in the form of
yes.
I won't say person, I'll probably say organism on this earth.
A being
on this earth to flatten things out again.
Right.
And remind people that they need to balance their inner worlds out much more.
Yes.
Some people would even consider things like a pandemic or a worldwide scale disaster a kind of reminder. So now would you say that avatars actually exist as beings, or would you say that even when nature lashes out at us and says that, no, you'll have polluted this planet too much, you'll have killed too many of the other organisms on this planet, here's your whatever resultant outcome.
Yes.
Is that also an element of an avatar according to you?
I feel, our understanding of the avatar is very limited to, we generally consider avatar as a entity or a being, where God's personality is visible. The avatar is doing certain things that are out of this world. The avatar may not tell that I am an avatar, but the kind of things that, for example, Parshuram did, or Krishna did, or Sri Ram did, they are self-evident that this is someone out of the ordinary. When we talk about natural calamities, I feel it's more of a sign of Prakriti or Devi or Shakti, who's the destructive force.
Which is a form of the female aspect of God in Hinduism.
Aspect of God, yes. Prakriti or nature or Maya or so various philosophies in Hinduism, they talk about Purush and Prakriti, So it's God and the energy. And God may be considered, whether you consider him as Vishnu or as Shiva, Shakti is common, right? Shakti is the female personification of energy. And these natural calamities, I feel, are more of a pushback from nature that we have been overexploiting.
From Mother Nature.
Mother Nature. So she's Mother Nature, she's Shakti, she's Prakriti. She's the one who's responsible. Even in the Vishnupuranas Purans, Shakti is responsible for maintenance of this entire, the protection of this entire universe. So maintenance, even though it is Lord Vishnu's forte, Shakti is the reason everything is moving. She is the energy behind every single thing that happens in this world. So there's a synergy between the different gods and goddesses, the forms of gods and goddesses that we understand. And we have to realize that, all these are different facets of the same supreme being. So whether God comes down as a human-like person, as Sri Ram, whether he appears as a Vaman or a Kurma or a Matsya, purpose is to balance the forces of good and evil. Whenever you see a natural calamity, you have to understand this is the female energy that is acting up, which is sort of trying to teach us a lesson. Because we are exploiting nature. I mean, nobody can deny that, right? Nature has been exploited over years, over centuries now. And there has to be a pushback. Even in Mumbai recently also, you must have seen those pictures where, the sea has thrown back all the wastes that was dumped into it. The entire beach, I think at Dadar probably, was littered with plastic. And, it's a clear sign. You take back what's yours. I don't want it, And when you were asking about Shiva and Vishnu, I think that's a very... basic thing that we need to understand about these gods and goddesses is that scientifically, what do these principles mean? Shiva is time, right? So everything happens in due course of time. Lord Vishnu can come today as Kalki. He can wipe out evil. But no, he will come at a certain time. So there is always an element of Shiva in whatever Vishnu does.
And vice versa.
So they are not mutually exclusive. Right? And similarly, goddess energy, without the energy, Tantra says that, without the Shakti, Shiva can be considered a shav.
What does that mean?
A corpse, which does not sound very good, but that is what Tantra says. So what it means is that they are not mutually exclusive again. The female and the male propensities or the female or the male energies are not mutually exclusive. That is the whole reason of showing God as Ardhanarishwar. There are various forms of God where he's depicted as Harihar, Vishnu and Shiva combined. So these are ways to make us understand that, stop being sectarian and stop, picking your favorite gods and fighting over it. These are just different facets of the same supreme being.
100%. That's one hack we actually use to get more clicks on our videos, because people, for some reason, all over India are very concerned when there are fights happening. It's why we see so many of these rappers, dissing each other and all that, and it just gets views. Like, people want to bring that diss culture even to talk about ancient culture.
Right.
Even to talk about God.
Yes.
Thank you for watching this clip. If you want to learn more about this topic, we've curated a playlist just for you. And here's a link to the whole episode.